Today on Robert's Guitar Dungeon, we're checking out the Voodoo Octave pedal from Joyo. I hate fuzz pedals. That being said, in the interest of fairness, let's start with the things I do like about it. It, believe it or not, actually sounds kind of really cool. I've always not cared for, there's probably one fuzz pedal that I can think of off the top of my head that I really like and I would probably own, and that's the Full Tone Catalyst. Beyond that, I've never owned one and certainly never used one, just because, you know, I've heard so many big muffs and stuff out there and I can't stand the sound of any of them, so that's why I never got it. But I did buy this one because it was extremely affordable. Probably, like, realistically, it was about in the $30 range or so on Amazon, and I was thinking that, you know, I don't have a fuzz. It would be nice if I did have one laying around just in case I needed it. So I picked this one up. And this is essentially a clone of the, I think it's a Voodoo Labs Octave Fuzz, I think is what this thing is supposed to be a clone of, or something along those lines. But anyway, it actually sounds really cool. You know, I really like, you know, the early Sabbath, and kind of, you know, I didn't demo any single coil tones on it, but, you know, like the early Sabbath and Jimi Hendrix type stuff that you can get with it. You know, I think it did a really good job with the Smashing Pumpkins early mid 90s era type stuff, and I was really surprised at how much it ventured into the you know, the sludge metal, you know, really heavy, you know, heavy metal territory as well. Stoner rock kind of stuff that I was playing, you know, I think sounds really good. And in here anyway, I really, you know, it sounds really good with the mid cut control engaged as well, which obviously scoops out all the mids. You know, I don't know that I would trust that live. I'm not sure that, you know, it had anywhere near enough mids to cut through, particularly with the active EMG that I was playing through it at that time. But, you know, here in the bedroom, it's, you know, it was kind of a cool sound. Hopefully it comes out on the recording okay. The tone control on it is kind of unique because, and I didn't turn it all the way up, because if you turn it all the way up, it is absolutely, I mean, the treble is just ear piercing. Really what it sounded to me like the tone control on this thing does is really more of a notch filter, and the more that you turn it, you know, the different frequency that it boosts. The higher the frequency it boosts, as opposed to, you know, just a good old-fashioned treble control, which a lot of tone controls are. The sweet spot on the tone control is right there between 11 and 1 o'clock. Overall, you know, it's you know, for if you're like me and you're looking for you know, just a inexpensive fuzz to have laying around just in case you need it and maybe goof around with and have some fun with, this is a good option. And a couple other things about it that I was surprised with. You know, the knobs on it actually, you know, are fairly tight, and, you know, they don't spin very easily. You know, the switches feel solid. Overall, the negatives, what I don't like about it, you know, the negatives, it just feels cheap. You know, when you shake it, you can hear something rattling around in there, and that's probably just you know, just a cable for the battery compartment. It does take 9-volt batteries, but, you know, there's just, you know, whenever I hear something rattling around like that in a pedal, it's just a bad impression with me, whether there's anything wrong with it or not. The DC input jack on it is actually, I mean, it's close enough that I can plug it in, but it's actually not centered into the hole in the housing that's made for it. It's kind of another indicator that it's very inexpensively made. And the fuzz, the other thing I know is the fuzz control, when you turn it all the way down, it almost cuts the signal all the way off. So, you know, to get anything, you know, and I kind of try to demonstrate that a little bit, but you got to turn that, if you want the fuzz all the way down, really you can't have it all the way down. You got to turn it up just a little bit past 0 to get the, you know, that actual pot to kick in. That to me indicates that the pots that they used are also extremely inexpensive. Octave up control, which I use to play for, you know, as a solo enhancement. It's not really a boost because it doesn't get any louder, but you know, it's you know, it adds an extra, you know, an octave tone to it, and, you know, to me, that I'm not a big fan of that effect anyway. But, you know, to me, it was just absolutely unusable. So you know, like I said, other than that Sabbath solo that I used it for, I don't know that that's something I would ever need it for. But the actual fuzz feature on this thing is awesome and absolutely mammoth sounding. Definitely a high gain fuzz. If you're looking for something a lot more mellow, this probably is not it. If you're a bedroom player, and especially if you like some of that, some of that kind of stuff that I was demoing, this is definitely one that you ought to pick up. They're too inexpensive not to have one laying around, in my opinion. And it's, like I said, it's just kind of a fun toy. I don't know that it's ever gonna have a permanent spot on my board, but it will most likely have a permanent spot in my dungeon for me to goof around with in the future. So overall, definitely worth keeping around for the tone alone anyway. Like I said, durability, I think that's gonna remain to be seen. Joyo are they're an overseas, they're a Chinese company. They're known for making decent quality guitar gear, but they're also known to be very much in the budget range, particularly when it comes to their pedals. Take that for what it's what it's worth. You can't spend $30 on a pedal and expect it to perform like a $300 pedal. It's not going to happen. And I didn't buy it expecting to. I bought it expecting it to be a cool sounding fuzz. Basically fill a tonal gap that I had, and that's it. And I found that in doing so, I found that it does a lot, some other cool stuff that I didn't know it would do. And I actually spent a fair amount of time playing this thing before I shot this video, just because I was having so much fun playing the Smashing Pumpkins riff that I was demoing in particular. I don't even like that band. I did find the tones out of this thing to be very inspiring for me to, inspiring to get me to play some stuff that I don't normally venture into. So. Last but not least, as always, please visit the link on your screen right now. That is the link to the Facebook page of my friends at Share the Music. If you have any broken or unwanted instruments laying around and you would like to learn how those broken or unwanted instruments can help change somebody's life, go visit that page. Those are the folks that can definitely help.